Oh,
Good. How's everybody else?
good. We're talking about kids and grandkids. Matt Danzer's son is 1 year old today.
Oh,
Congratulations.
congratulations for surviving the first year. Thank you.
I'm just glad this is planned during nap time.
Now you can get a little more sleep this year. Just a little more.
Okay. All right. It's 4 after. I'm not sure I'm going to get anything more. So, thank you all for joining. Let me start with Matt Mandel's email, which I hope you saw. Very gracious of him to let us express his support for the report as written without the final change to the 10% paragraph. And just to hopefully finish that topic off, I guess where I came down is that we don't want to leave the reader with the impression that achieving 10% is state policy, which is why I ran it by Michael Santoro. And I guess in my mind, his endorsement of the way where we ended up, was confirmation that we should leave it as is. But I have, as you saw, I have made all the other changes that Matt Mandel suggested, particularly to the fair share and the inclusionary zoning. So I think that was part of his gracious note and agreement to get on board. Let me ask about the formatting. I tried to
Hey, Tim, can I just ask something on the may and the does?
Yes.
And I know it does seem to be a lot of semantics here, but are we eliminating the possibility that it would be possible for some town at 10% to actually have that be their need? For example, let's say we had a rural community and there really isn't that much demand for housing. What if we had a situation where someone built housing for affordable and it didn't fill up after a year? I'm just kind of playing the devil's advocate a little bit, but could there not possibly be a time where 10% or possibly even less actually would fulfill the market need? And I guess how would that be defined? I think one way to define something is if you did have continued sustained vacancy. I just throw that out.
Yeah. And I think that's part of what Matt was concerned about also. I guess the best way I can explain my own view of it is that, across the state, there are going to be places that are at 1 or 2%, and there's no market need right now for any additional housing. There's also, at 30 or 40% where there is no market need. What I'm have been trying to stay away from is endorsing the idea that 10%, as stated in 830G, is a state sponsored housing goal. That's been my mantra from day one. And that was why I ran it by Mike Santoro, because he and I had a discussion about this a couple of months ago where we were both talking to a group of land use planners. And I said to the planners, I said, please understand that 10% is not a state mandated goal. And Michael, from his perch on the Zoom call said, yes, that's a huge misunderstanding. So there's market need versus what is the state's policy. And I think those are two separate issues. So you're absolutely right. There could be a town that's at any number of percent that has satisfied market need, but we don't want to give the impression, especially as a committee intended to guide towns around the state, that the 10% number in 830G is anything other than the threshold for an exemption from the statute, because near affordable housing, as we've said in our own report, is defined by 80% of median or 100% of median and less, and that's more than 10% by definition. So, and by the same token, when Matt suggested does or may versus does, yeah, I think he was suggesting that the town should just have the ability to declare whether they've met the need or not. And that to me was, again, off the issue. I just didn't want our report to endorse the idea that 10% is a state standard or state goal. So That's,
Yeah, I guess I
hear
can
your
go along
point.
with that. I think, you know, he was at one point talking about it's a goal for someone to meet. It is a goal because it allows them, you know, to be exempt from those developers that don't need approval anymore. But it's not the goal of the state, I guess. You
Exactly.
know.
And that's a good way to summarize what we tried to say. And I think we said, yeah.
Okay.
Tim, if I may, just in the context of that idea of the goal, if the goal is to achieve 10% to get out from the, you know, legal authority of 8-30G, then the goal is no longer affordable housing. It's to get out from under 8-30G.
Right.
So I think that's a nuanced distinction that's important. And at the end of the day, 10% is not the goal. So
Yeah. Okay. Agreed. So Kathy, does that set your mind at ease for the moment? Hello, Michael Hernandez.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that affordable housing shouldn't be the goal. I'm just saying that is, whether you call it a goal or a standard or a threshold, it is something I think that many towns do want to reach. And I think that what they're saying at that point is not that they necessarily don't want to obtain the ultimate goal of affordable housing, but perhaps they just want to do it with more input from their citizens or have some more control over the design. And in some of those cases, you might end up actually with a better product. So,
and therefore, I think the operative word is threshold, which is what Michael Santoro suggested. So
right. Okay, thanks.
All right, good. Okay, if then the text content issues are put to bed, I just had a quick question. I tried to give the report a little bit of formatting. So basically it's that sort of blue panel and printed look on the cover page, the roster, the page of quotes, and the table of contents. And then everything after that is the same type and format that we've been using. So I just want to ask, is everybody okay with that? Do you want more formatting? Kylie's okay, Rick? Okay.
It looks nicer than our consolidated housing plan one, which I formatted myself. So.
All right, good. So I wanted to just give it a little bit of sheen, but without going too far. And good. Okay, so then Kylie made a good suggestion. You know, that we should just try to say that we have a consensus to proceed with the document as it stands today. And so I'll just say, does anybody have an objection to proceeding in that manner? Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. That's a good solid year of effort going into this, and I'm very appreciative of all the work that all of you did. And
I do have 3 typos, Tim, that I'm going to send you.
Okay, good. Please, thank you for doing that, and I will take those right away. Okay, last thing then on my agenda for today is the March 6th, the full commission meeting. You'll get the link, obviously, because it's a public meeting. I'm also going to send you my draft outline no later than the 27th or the 28th. Would welcome your comments. I plan to speak very candidly about the issues that we discussed, you know, at length, including 10% and inclusionary zoning and the other items. But we have been given an opportunity for any member of our group to speak for, you know, about 1 to 2 minutes max by the committee. So, and I'll put this out in an email so everybody the people not on the call know of this opportunity. But you know, after I'm going to probably take 15 or 20 minutes and maybe have a couple of slides to illustrate where we ended up. But if any of you want to speak, you know, I kind of have a feeling that maybe somebody like Betsy Guerra might want to speak a little bit on behalf of her constituency. So I just want to make it clear that we've been given that opportunity, and I will be the coordinator to give you so that you're recognized as a panelist during the hearing to make whatever remarks you think are appropriate. And then I'm also going to go ahead and with help from various people, to publicize the event, not in the formal sense, but just make it known that we're going to be discussing this topic. So I will let the planners organization know, the Bar Association Planning and Zoning section. Rick, I assume you'll let CCM know, and so we'll make sure that the stakeholders are aware of the discussion if they wish to listen in. So that's all I have. Representative Lamar, you're in the car, but any words of wisdom?
I am not driving, so I just want to make that clear for everyone.
Okay. Okay.
The only concern I have with respect to the last point we brought up, the report itself looks extraordinary. It reflects a year of incredible work, mostly by you, to get us to this point. The only concern I have is with respect to our presentation before the commission. If individual members highlight just where they have misgivings about the final report that we've considered, then all of that work and all of that consensus building that we've experienced over this past year kind of devolves a little bit. So it's my hope that as folks present their concerns or issues, they do it with a big picture sense in mind of, we all came to this with different perspectives and different goals and different ideas about what should be included and how we should even communicate our disappointments. And the document before us reflects a lot of concessions along the way by a lot of us. It is just my hope that people don't go to the full commission meeting and start tearing apart parts of it that they don't like just to elevate the parts that they do. And that's my only request of members who want to speak before the full commission is to sort of respect this year-long process that we've undertaken to get to this point. Thanks.
Good. Okay. Very good. Hi, Betsy. We just approved the report by consensus, so I'll thank you for your thumbs up, and I did commend Matt Mandel for his gracious email, and we approved the idea of just formatting the first 4 pages and leaving the rest in the text and format. And Kathy Randall said she has some couple of little typos to send me, which I will take, and then we'll have a final version. And then we were just talking about the March 6th, where we've been given an opportunity to have briefs after I make the presentation on behalf of the working group for individual members who may want to take 1 or 2 minutes to state anything on the record that's important. So if that's something you want to avail yourself of, just send me an email and I'll coordinate that. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. And happy birthday to Jack Danzer. And again, thank you all again for just a tremendous effort and great give and take. And this has been one of the highlights of my working life. And I will always appreciate this effort. So, and
Thank you, Tim.
And hopefully it does
Great
some
job.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wishing you well with your anticipated grandson or granddaughter.
Yes, not a grandson. Haha.
Well, I'm pretending I don't know, you see?
Yes, I know. All right, I'll leave you with this. I am not the grandfather biologically. That would be my new wife's late husband. So I'm going to be Timpa.
Very nice.
I love it.
Or at least that's the plan. So we'll see.
Very nice.
And so you all may call me that from now on. Okay, with that. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks, everybody. Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Tim.
you.
Thanks,
Tim.
everyone.
Thank you.